There are usually three reasons why your audio sounds bad. Number one, bad placement. Number two, bad environment. Or number three, bad editing. Let's quickly cover these first 2 points before we actually get to how I edit audio in DaVinci Resolve. First of all, mic placement. This is one of the most common mistakes that I see people make with their audio is placing the mic in the wrong spot. So here's a good rule of thumb to always remember where to place your microphone. For something like this, that's a podcast style dynamic condenser style microphone, you want to be within 2 to 6 inches from the microphone. You don't want to be any further away than that, or the audio won't be really good for the style of microphone that it is. Now, for something like a wireless microphone, you can always, put that on your shirt, but you want to make sure that you have it kind of high enough up that it's still that 6 inch gap between your mouth and the microphone. And then when you have shotgun style microphones that are on the camera, those are about an arm's length away, and they're made, directional to kind of pick up at about an arm's length away. Then you have boom mics where you boom them in overhead in the shot. You still want those to be maximum of about 12 inches outside of frame to be able to get really good audio from them. So where you place the mic can really affect how it sounds. I mean, if I were to back up from this mic right here and just try to kind of film from, farther away, I'm about a foot away from it. This mic is not made for this. This mic is made for you to talk within 2 to 6 inches from it. Now, where I might could get away with that 12-inch gap if I had a boom mic or a wireless mic, maybe, or an on-camera shotgun style microphone, this mic is not made for that. So knowing what mic you're using, and again, a good rule of thumb is just to get that mic as close to your mouth as possible. Next up is your environment. Now, there are a lot of environments that you're going to be filming in that are out of your control. But if you are in a controlled environment like a studio, inside your house, or in a place where you can make changes to the environment, I highly suggest making sure that the place you're filming in is sound treated in some way. So, what I mean by sound treatment is here in my office, I have a lot of hard surfaces. I have a Husky workbench, I have shelves on the walls, I have a desk, and then I have, laminate flooring. So, everything in here is a hard surface that's going to bounce sound off of it, therefore creating echo. So, what I did to help with that was get a nice circle rug for the middle of the room. And then I also added some of these acoustic wood panels to the wall to absorb some of that sound. So, the easiest way you could do this is just literally like add furniture, couches, rugs. There's tons of different styles of acoustic panels. There's really cheap ones that you could put up that are decorative. There's these wall slats that are also decorative. And you could even, if it's a temporary location, you could literally hang a blanket kind of in front of your camera, behind the camera where no one can see it. That will also dampen the sound because your voice will go out, the sound will go out, it'll hit that blanket and it'll dampen and come back instead of echoing around the room. And of course, if you're in environments that you can't control, whether you're like outdoors, make sure to use a wind muff if you've got a wireless mic or even a shotgun mic. Put that wind muff on if it's windy outside. That will help cut wind noise. So you want to make sure that the environment you're in is conducive to filming some good audio if that's what you're really going for. But all of that to say, there's a lot we can do with the AI tools nowadays to actually fix bad audio and make it good in the edit. And a quick side note before we jump into editing in DaVinci Resolve, there's actually another really important point that might be the main mistake in having bad audio, and that is not setting your gain levels correctly in camera. If your mic is peaking already and you just bake that into the camera when you have it plugged in, there's really not very many ways to recover that audio. So you want to always check and make sure that your levels are not clipping, they're not staying in the red on your camera when you're recording. You're able to go in and adjust that level either in the audio level in camera or turn down the gain on the mic itself. You want to make sure that your audio is not distorting or clipping before you get to the editing process. Now let's jump into DaVinci Resolve. You'll see here that I have two audio clips that we're going to work with. One is a clip from me, and I also have a clip here of just the audio from Sean. So shout out to Sean. He's a fellow YouTuber. He has a channel for Christian men, and he let me use this audio track for this video so that I could show everyone how I edit my audio. So big thanks to him because now we have two examples to work with. So let's dive in and let's first edit my audio, then we'll edit Sean's. You can see here, just by looking at the waveforms, that we actually recorded at very different audio levels. You can tell mine is pretty soft. I'm actually going to have to boost that a lot, so we'll just go ahead and bring up that volume. And that will be step one, is kind of getting a good volume going. So let's just play this clip back.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG.
So I'm watching over here for my audio levels and where they're sitting. I want them to kind of stop at -5 decibels at kind of some of the peaks. If a couple of peaks end up close to 0, that's okay, but I really want my audio between -15 and -5, kind of in that little sweet spot. So let's just watch this back.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years. I love this thing. This one is $250.
Okay, so that's a really good range right there. Volume-wise, we're doing okay. So once we've adjusted volume, let's go in and actually start doing some EQ and effects and get this audio sounding a lot better. I'm using a shotgun mic in this example. Right up here, you can see it in frame. So the first thing I always like to do is just throw on some of this AI voice isolation because it works really well. If my studio is kind of echoey, because again, I mentioned all of these hard surfaces, so I usually run it anywhere from, 50 to 55. If it's really bad one day, like my air conditioner's running or whatever, I may do 60. But let's start off with just doing 50 right here, 50%.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years.
And you can tell with this on and off what difference that makes.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years. I love this thing.
So this really just isolates the voice, kind of takes out some of that reverb and background noise to get you to just that clean audio sound. Now I will jump over into the Fairlight tab, and I'm going to throw Sean's onto track 2 right here because I like to do EQ by the whole track, because usually I'm working with YouTube videos and it just spans, my audio's on that whole first track. So I'm just going to double click on the EQ for track 1. And I just like to start out by creating a low pass and high pass cut just to kind of roll off some of those low tones and some of those super high tones. Then what I will do is with band 3 and band 4, I'll increase the Q factor a bit, and then I will start doing a frequency sweep on the audio. So over here, I'm just going to play this through and sweep different frequencies by just bringing up these bands. So I'll start with band 3. We're just going to sweep through, and you'll hear which frequencies sound really bad, and it just depends on a person's voice. So, and the setting and the microphone, it all has little differences. So let's just play this back.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years. I love this thing. This one is $250.
Okay, so starting to kind of get a pretty bad frequency around that 1 to 2K, kind of in between right there. That usually is a hot spot, but there's usually a hot spot around 800 too, just with my voice. So let's...
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years.
Kind of nasty right there. So we're just going to drop that out. Listen to this.
Years. I love this thing. This one is $250.
So that's already better. Let's do it one more time with
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years. I love this thing. This one is...
So that's probably the worst one right there, is actually about 3K. So let's drop that out. I'll show you what this sounds like.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years. I love this thing.
And we're a little bit essy just with the clarity on this mic, so I might just cut this a little bit more right there.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG.
Might just bring that down.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG.
And that's a pretty good sound right there. So this is with and without those EQ adjustments.
Next up is the Rode Video Mic NTG. I have used this mic for years.
Just kind of a little bit more bassy because my voice is so high pitched. And that's kind of some of the basic adjustments I would do to my audio to get a good sound out of it. Again, some of it really varies, but that's just some of the basic things I would do. So let's jump over and edit Sean's now. So let's listen to it.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
So we're maybe a little loud on volume. I'll just bring it down just ever so slightly. And then let's make sure that this is in stereo. So let's just check clip attributes. It's in mono right now, so let's actually put that in stereo. And we can do embedded channel 1 for both. So we want to make sure that this track is in stereo now that we've changed the audio to stereo. So now when
But
we play
here's
that
what
back,
I've learned
we've got it in stereo.
at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
All right. So let's first of all do our AI voice isolation on this. I'm going to start, he has a pretty echoey kind of room, probably similar to my studio where he has some hard surfaces. So let's actually go with 60 on this.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
That's night and day difference right there. That AI voice isolation is lifesaver. And if it's getting a little bit kind of cutting in and out or sounding a little bit weird, you just need to bring down the amount. So we can play with this and I'll just show you what this sounds like. So we can go 20%.
But here's what I've learned at 38.
And then we'll go 60%.
What I've learned at 38.
And then we could just max it out just to show you what it sounds like.
But here's what I've learned at 38.
You can tell it's kind of a little bit weird sounding when you completely max it out. But I think it sounded pretty good at about 60.
But here's what I've learned at 38.
So now we can go in and do our EQ. So let's flop over here. We'll do track 2 because that's where his audio is. I'm just going to do some of those same things by just kind of bringing down, low cut and high cut. This low cut down here gets rid of some of those low rumbles because the human voice the frequencies don't really start till after about 115. So anything below that's going to be like those low rumbles from air conditioner noise and different things like that. Same thing with some of these high like frequencies that are up in the S's. And then we'll get our 2 bands right here in the middle ready and we'll do a frequency sweep.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is...
So that's kind of a bad frequency there, but let's keep going.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no...
That one's kind of tough right there.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations...
Let's drop this one out and kind of see what that sounds like.
But here's what I've learned at 38.
Not bad. All right, let's look for our second frequency we can drop out.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth. But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
Let's drop that one out and see what that sounds like.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
So here's before and after the EQ.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life. But here's what I've learned at 38.
So it's a little bit bassy. Let's kind of bring 5 up just a little in this kind of range.
But here's what I've learned at 38.
And we don't want to drop these out quite as much. And we can kind of maybe bring back some low end right there.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations.
Maybe bring this in just a little.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
Okay, I think I might move that up and kind of leave that low frequency in. So I just moved this band.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
Now let's do a before and after.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations.
So it just kind of tightens the sound a little bit, kind of brings out some of those frequencies that didn't sound quite as good. And we can still, boost that so his voice is clear. We're not just making it bassy. We're just kind of taking out some of those frequencies that didn't sound as good.
But here's what I've learned at 38.
So that's sounding pretty good. Another thing that we could do is also add some compression. So we'll go over here to effects and we could put on a compressor. So what a compressor does is just kind of evens out those levels. If you watch it down here on our waveform, watch this.
But here's what I've learned at 38.
It's like really sticking it to that one place What I'm gonna do is kind of adjust some of these levels though. So it kind of brings up some of the lower sounds and then it brings down some of the louder sounds, if that makes sense. So the quieter sounds, it raises them up a little bit. The louder sounds, it brings them down a little bit. So here's a before and after of that multi-band compressor.
But here's what I've learned at 38. But here's what I've learned at 38.
So that just helps kind of keep the audio a little bit more level. But again, this is completely optional. You can go in there and make all of those adjustments. I think there is a little bit, just a smidge of clipping. It does distort just a hair. So that means maybe the audio was recorded just a little bit too hot. But overall, I think this audio sounds really nice. So here's a before and after of all the different effects that we just did on this audio. So here's the before.
But here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
And then
But
after.
here's what I've learned at 38. A life with no expectations is also a life with no depth.
And again, editing audio is completely personal preference. You have to work with that audio until you're happy with how it sounds. There are some technical things that you can do for it to be, accurate, the right volume, the right level, the right sound and EQ, but it all kind of comes down to personal taste. When you're editing your own video and you're going to put that on YouTube, it really is personal preference. But these are just some of the steps that I take in editing audio, especially for my YouTube channel. So I'll just give you an example of like right now, this is the audio without me editing it. So this is that raw sound. And then this is how I've been editing it, how you've heard it the rest of this video with that audio effects and EQ. There are a lot more tools that you can use to actually edit your audio in DaVinci Resolve. These are just the little few tools that I use to kind of get a decent sound for YouTube. If I was doing a project where it was a lot more important that the audio was crystal and perfect, I would spend a lot more time on it, but this is just what I do for YouTube videos. And if you like this video and want to see more about how I edit audio in DaVinci Resolve, check out this video right over here. It's very similar. I go through some of the same steps, but those audio examples are different. So if you want to see more examples, check out that video right over here.